The 90-day Airbnb rule in London.
The Airbnb 90-day rule.
90-day rule with service accommodation in London.
The 90-day rule.
90-day rule.
90-day rule.
The 90-day rule.
The 90-day rule.
There's a 90-day rule.
The 90-day rule in London.
If you haven't heard about it, it applies to the Greater London Council boroughs in London. It dictates that you can only do short-term rental in London for up to 90 days in a calendar year. In a comment on a recent video, this guy was confused. Interesting video. How is he getting around the London bylaw that states that you can only rent a property out as service accommodation for a maximum of 3 months per year? Now, the video in question was a site visit I did to one of my students' essays in London. And one of the responses to that comment was this guy. He isn't. He's relying on the fact that it is not tracked. So effectively, he is doing it illegally, just like 80,000 other serviced accommodation properties in London. He will have a problem next year when this becomes monitored. Anyway, let me explain why that is not true. First of all, you've got 90 days worth of short-term lets, perfectly legal and above board. Now, what I actually teach my students to do in serviced accommodation is incentivize longer bookings from companies and businesses that ordinarily would be placing their clients and employees and contractors in hotels. So we can actually get them to book for 3 months or longer. So we provide the accommodation as an alternative to a hotel. We are making a lot more money from serviced accommodation, and we are completely compliant with the 90-day rule. Now, as for the other statement of when this becomes monitored, well, all they're likely to do is bring in licensing, which I'm perfectly happy with. But how are they actually going to monitor the number of short-term stays? You tell me. The only way they could possibly do that is by hiding in a wheelie bin and have 24/7 surveillance on the property. If you want to be the first volunteer for Camden Council to do that, then be my guest. So there are some pros and cons with the 90-day rule. So the downside for a start is if you are going to be completely compliant and just have 90 days worth of short-term lets in a whole calendar year, then you're not going to make as much money. The upside is that if you are compliant with the 90-day rule, then you've got 90 days worth of short-term stays, but also in order to be compliant, you're going to need longer than 90-day stays, which means you're going to make a lot more money on those stays. So should the 90-day rule deter you from doing service accommodation in London? You should definitely do serviced accommodation in London. The benefits far outweigh the risks. And so if you want more information on how to start and scale a serviced accommodation business, there is a free report that you can download from the description or the comments to this video. My name is Kevin Poneskis, and here's to your success in serviced accommodation.